Hi, my name is Jordan Johnson, and I'm a second grade teacher at Grove Elementary in Bossier Parish. As an educator, what I'm most passionate about is teaching my students what they need to learn, but also being part of their story. My goal is to make a difference in their lives, not just academically, but personally. Some of our students don't always get their love or attention at home, and I want to make sure that when they come to school that they get those needs and they are seen and they are cared for and they are capable, and to let them know that they are important. And it just really means a lot to me. So in today's lesson, my students are learning about the life cycle of a plant, and exploring which season is best for plants to grow in. In Bossier Parish, we use core knowledge language arts through Amplify. And our objective today is for students to describe the life cycle of a flowering plant. They're going to sequence images of the plant stages, and then also write a summary using their temporal words like first, next, then, and last. And that for this lesson, we talked about how plants grow and what they need to survive, like sunlight, water, air, and soil. In our knowledge unit, we've also been learning about what a cycle is, and that is something that repeats or goes in order. So it just keeps going and going. Now we're taking that idea and exploring different types of cycles, and we're starting with plants.
So today we are going to read the life cycle of a plant. Remember, in science we have talked about a life cycle of a plant and the ways that a plant grows. Does everyone remember that? Today, in knowledge, we are also going to revisit the life cycle of a plant. Okay? We've been talking about our seasons and how the earth rotates and tilts and on its axis and around the sun. Okay, so today we are going to focus on plants. What is the season that the plants grow the most in? Or when do they start blooming? Peyton?
Spring.
In spring. And what's another season that they also can grow on? Jackson?
Summer.
In summer. Okay, so we have spring and summer. Those are the main seasons that they grow along to their new homes. So we've learned about wind and it could travel. Remember, we watched that Lion King part where his fur went into the air and it traveled a long ways away. Remember that?
Yeah, but that's not really a seed. The poop?
It's not a seed, but you can see how things are traveling just by the wind.
Yeah.
Right? And then
it got stuck in the poo-poo.
it did get stuck in the poop. But then it also, went into we know that it can go into water. A seed can easily go into water and travel to a new home. All of this is happening around us in spring, summer, and early autumn. The potential for new life is being created as flowering plants are pollinated and seeds are dispersed. Across the world, the life cycle of flowering plants is renewed or happens again each year. And if something is happening over and over each year, what is that called?
A cycle.
When I say go, you're going to turn to your partner and think pair share, and you're going to describe the stages in the life cycle of a flowering plant. So I want you to discuss with your partner the stages of the life cycle of a plant. Go. Back to me.
Back to you.
Good. Monroe, can you tell us what you and Ronnie talked about?
It grows roots, and then it's a baby plant, and then it's a flower, and then the flower drops the seeds.
Very
And
good.
then it happens all over again. It's like
I
that.
love that answer. That is a great answer. What would you like, Monroe?
3 paragraphs.
3 power claps for Monroe. Good. 3 ways that the seeds are dispersed. Jackson.
Wind, animal droppings, and water.
Good. What would you like, Jackson?
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster for Jackson. Repeat after me. I can describe the life cycle of a flowering plant. Okay. I can sequence the life cycle of a flowering plant. So we're going to sequence the life cycle of a plant. In skills, when we're writing, we're using our transition words. What is our first transition word, Wyatt? First. So we're going to have a first. Monroe, what comes after that?
Then.
What comes before then? Eli, help me out. Next. Monroe, what's then? And then what is Lorelai? I don't want to say the word, but what comes?
Next.
Say it, Lorelai. Last.
He makes a root, and then it just like goes down and makes a little plant, and it turns into a flower, and then it just disperses all of the seeds, and then it does it again.
Eyes on me. So finally, I want you to get out a sheet of paper, and you are going to write a summary of a life cycle of a flowering plant. Okay? You're going to do, I want you to use your first, your next, your then, and your last.
So my goal is for my students to understand that cycles are all around us in nature and in life. They're also learning to observe the world, to think critically, and to stay curious about the things around them. And I think that is so important in today's world. I'm super proud of this group. They're eager to learn. They were invested, and truly a joy to teach. So if I could have done something differently for this lesson, I would have definitely kept our plants that we planted several weeks back in our science lesson and brought them to our classroom so that the students could have had that visual of a plant and how it started out as a seed. I think that would have been a cherry on top with their engagement and their interaction with the lesson. So I will definitely do that next year when I teach this. So then after this video, my students worked extremely hard writing their summary about the life cycle of a plant using their temporal words like first, next, then, and last. The last thing I just want to say is watching these second graders learn and grow reminds me why I love what I do and just helping these students bloom one lesson at a time. Thank you so much.